Hey guys, welcome back to our channel for another explosive dive into the twisted world of Beyond the Gates. Today is a beautiful day to uncover some incredibly dark secrets, and trust me, we have a massive amount of ground to cover right now. Grab your favorite drink and settle in because the drama unfolding at the hospital is reaching an absolute boiling point, and the stakes have literally never been higher. We need to talk about the absolute nightmare scenario currently playing out at Garland Memorial. Right now, Bill and Haley are completely trapped inside those sterile hospital walls, and the tension in that room is thick enough to cut with a knife. Due to some incredibly strict medical protocols and the chief of staff laying down the law, they are not allowed to leave. The hospital lockdown is in full effect, and it is driving both of them absolutely insane for very different reasons. Bill is stuck in that bed, hooked up to monitors, and completely stripped of his usual power and control. He is a man who is used to snapping his fingers and getting exactly what he wants, but right now he is nothing more than a captive patient. Bill is relentlessly complaining about not being discharged, whining to anyone who will listen that he feels fine and needs to get back to his empire. He thinks he is invincible, completely oblivious to the fact that his own body is failing him and that the real threat is sitting right next to his bed. Meanwhile, Haley is playing the role of the doting, concerned wife for the cameras, but behind those cold eyes, she is absolutely seething. Being stuck in that hospital room under constant medical supervision is the ultimate roadblock to her lethal master plan. She needs privacy to finish the job, and the hospital is the worst possible place for a slow burn murder. To make matters worse for the plotting wife, she is being heavily monitored by the nursing staff, specifically Ashley. Now, Ashley is not one to back down, and she is strictly enforcing the hospital rules. She is keeping a very close eye on the VIP patient, ensuring that every protocol is followed to the letter. Haley is finding herself constantly clashing with Ashley, visibly annoyed and frustrated by the nurse's relentless presence. Every time Haley tries to have a private moment or perhaps look for an opportunity to tamper with an IV, Ashley is right there blocking her path. The hostility between these two women is radiating off the screen, and it is only a matter of time before Haley completely loses her temper. But here is where things take a massive, unexpected turn. The walls are closing in on Bill, and he is getting restless. He demands his laptop, needing to feel connected to his work and his power. Haley, playing the obedient wife, agrees to leave the room and head down to his office to retrieve it. The very second the hospital door clicks shut behind her, the entire atmosphere in the room shifts. The mask of the tough, invincible billionaire drops completely. Bill immediately grabs his phone, making sure he is alone, and he secretly sends a text message. But he does not text his office. He does not text his lawyers. He texts Chelsea. Guys, the contents of this secret text are absolutely mind-blowing. Bill messages Chelsea to tell her that he misses her. Let that sink in for a moment. He is lying in a hospital bed, recovering from a near-fatal cardiac event. His current wife is barely out of the room, and his first instinct is to reach out to Chelsea with a deeply emotional confession. This is a massive flashing red light. This is a clear sign that despite being married to Haley, despite fiercely defending her against every accusation, Bill still harbors deep, unresolved emotional feelings and complex ties to Chelsea. There is a profound psychological dependency there that he simply cannot shake, no matter how hard he tries to bury it beneath his arrogant exterior. If you ask me, this secret text reveals so much about Bill's current mental state. Subconsciously, he knows he is isolated. He knows he is in danger, even if his conscious mind refuses to admit that Haley is the one poisoning him. Reaching out to Chelsea is a desperate plea for a lifeline, a moment of pure vulnerability from a man who is entirely surrounded by predators. He is clinging to the past, clinging to a connection that feels real, because deep down, he senses that his present situation is toxic and literally killing him. It seems that this one little text message is going to be the catalyst for a massive explosion. Chelsea is already traumatized, already paranoid, and already deeply suspicious of everything happening around her family. When she receives a random emotional text from Bill saying he misses her, she is not just going to ignore it. This could mean that Chelsea will finally get the ultimate confirmation she needs to realize that Bill is trapped in a web of manipulation. She knows Bill does not just send vulnerable texts for no reason. This is going to fuel her fire, and she is going to dig even deeper into Haley's movements. While Bill is having this moment of secret vulnerability, his loving wife is busy orchestrating his demise. Haley completely bypasses the office and instead heads straight to the atrium for a highly secretive, incredibly tense rendezvous with Randy. The scene at the atrium is chilling. They are speaking in hushed tones, looking over their shoulders, fully aware that they are plotting a murder in broad daylight. Haley is absolutely done playing games. The slow burn poison strategy has failed. It caused a heart attack, sure, but it also got Bill a pacemaker and a team of doctors watching his every move. She is impatient, she is angry, and she wants her $10 million right now. Haley looks Randy dead in the eye and coldly declares that the next time she administers the poison, she is going to drastically increase the dose. She wants to hit Bill with a lethal amount that will take him out quickly and permanently, completely bypassing the slow deterioration they initially planned. She is tired of waiting, tired of playing the nursemaid, and tired of dealing with people like Ashley. She wants the grand finale, and she wants it immediately upon his release from the hospital. But Randy is completely panicking. He is sweating bullets, his eyes darting around the atrium, and he immediately points out a massive, glaring flaw in her escalated plan. Randy reminds her that Bill now has a high-tech pacemaker implanted in his chest. If she hits him with a massive dose of poison, the poison will undoubtedly trigger a catastrophic cardiac event. But the moment his heart stops, that pacemaker is going to kick in. It is going to shock his heart, fighting the poison, forcing his body to stay alive. Randy lays out the terrifying medical reality. The battle between the lethal poison and the life-saving pacemaker could easily leave Bill in a permanent vegetative coma. His brain would be starved of oxygen, but his heart would artificially keep beating. And this is where the entire criminal enterprise hits a massive brick wall. If Bill is in a coma, he is not dead. If he is not dead, there is no death certificate. And if there is no death certificate, that $10 million life insurance policy does not pay out a single dime. They would be stuck with a comatose billionaire, endless medical bills, and absolutely no payout. You would think this horrifying realization would make Haley pump the brakes. You would think the risk of losing the money would force her to reconsider, but no. Haley's reaction is absolutely bone-chilling. She remains completely cold, her expression unreadable, her determination completely unshaken. She dismisses Randy's concerns with a wave of her hand. She is so blinded by her hatred for Bill and her desperate greed that she is willing to risk the coma scenario just to get the poison into his system. She refuses to back down, proving just how truly psychopathic and ruthless she has become. There is a strong chance that this blatant disregard for the plan is going to be the exact thing that fractures their alliance. Randy is a criminal, yes, but he is a practical one. He is already terrified of the heat coming down on him from other enemies in town, and now he is tied to a woman who is acting recklessly and emotionally. What if Randy decides that the risk is simply too high? What if he realizes that Haley is going to drag him down with her and he decides to flip? If Randy goes to the police, or worse, if he goes to someone like Joey to cut a deal, Haley's entire world is going to come crashing down in an instant. And let us talk about that pacemaker for a second, because I am absolutely obsessed with this detail. It seems that the very device implanted to save Bill's life might be the ultimate witness to his murder. These modern pacemakers record data. They record heart rates, arrhythmias, and the exact time of cardiac events. What if Haley administers the massive dose, the pacemaker fights it, and the doctors download the data? They will see an unnatural, chemically induced heart failure that completely contradicts his medical history. The pacemaker itself could provide the undeniable forensic evidence needed to prove that Bill was poisoned, completely exposing Haley's plot. No one saw this coming, but the dynamic is shifting so rapidly. Bill is locked in a hospital bed, reaching out to his past with a secret text, completely unaware that his wife is downstairs, calculating the exact dosage needed to stop his heart. Chelsea is sitting on a text message that could unravel the entire mystery. Ashley is unknowingly acting as the only physical barrier keeping Bill alive right now by restricting Haley's access. And Randy is realizing that he is partnered with a woman who has completely lost her grip on reality. If you ask me, the moment Bill is finally discharged from that hospital, all hell is going to break loose. The sterile safety of the medical ward will be gone, and he will be completely isolated at home with a woman who is holding a lethal syringe. But with Chelsea now holding that emotional text, she is going to be watching Haley like a hawk. What if Chelsea intercepts the poisoned food or drink? What if she barges into the house just as Haley is about to administer the fatal dose? The collision course between Chelsea's protective instincts and Haley's murderous greed is going to be explosive. We are looking at a ticking time bomb. The poison is ready. The dose is being increased. The pacemaker is ticking away in Bill's chest, ready to fight a war against the toxic serum. And amidst all this chaos, a single text message reading, "I miss you," might just be the one thing that saves his life. Or it might be the tragic final words of a man who realized his mistake far too late. Guys, the suspense is absolutely killing me, and I cannot wait to see who makes the next fatal move. Let me know down in the comments how you think this is going to play out. Will the pacemaker save him? Will Randy crack? Or is Haley finally going to get her $10 million prize? Keep your eyes peeled, because the next chapter is going to be deadly.